So it's been a while since we've covered the perks and the lethal and tactical equipment inside Warzone, and we're going to be going over what are the best options to use inside Warzone. If you do enjoy this style of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we try to reach our goal of 50k. Click that link and subscribe to our second channel. But let's get straight into the details of this, and what we are on here is the Warzone ranked website, which I'll leave a link for in the description. And as you can see here, we've got all the perks, and it kind of shows you what the pick ratio is for all the perks that are currently inside the game. Now, what I do want to quickly show you here is the pick ratio first of all. So as you can see, Double Time, Serpentine, Cold-Blooded are probably the top 3 perks that are picked here. And then when it comes to perk 2 slot, we've got Overkill, we've got Ghost, and then obviously Restocked is there as well. When it comes to perk 3, it's Combat Scout, Amped, and Tracker. But the main things here is that we're not really focusing on what is being picked the most, because some people haven't actually updated their loadouts with the best perks that are available in the game now, because there's been a few adjustments made way back. When it comes to a lot of the perks, we've added some new perks like Serpentine, for example, and people still haven't adjusted this. So what we're going to do is arrange this in terms of KD, and we're also going to show you this in game as well to show you what each perk does. But Serpentine actually has the highest KD out of all of the perks in the game for perk 1 slot. Then we've got Quick Fix, then we've got Cold-Blooded. So those are the top 3 here, and we've got Double Time and EOD slightly further down. And I kind of know why EOD isn't picked as much, even though it is still a solid perk, and I'll explain that later on. Then we've got Tempered for perk 2, Overkill, High Alert, Restocked is up there as well, and Ghost is not too far behind. I say perk 2 is probably the most stacked perk slot with some really good options in it. Very diverse there, I think a lot of them are really good. Then when it comes to perk 3, then we've got Combat Scout, Amped, Battle Hardened, Tracker is kind of there as well, and the rest are just not very good whatsoever. So let's quickly run through these perks in game to see what they do, and I'm going to point out obviously which ones are going to be the best ones in each perk slot. So when it comes to perk 1 slot, in my opinion, Double Time gets picked quite a lot, and I think that's just because it's one of the first perks available. Most people don't really change it, and being able to tack sprint for a longer duration and having a faster crouch movement isn't really too important in this game. Let's be perfectly honest here. If you are able to slide cancel, then you don't really need this at all. EOD is actually very solid, take 45% reduced damage from RPGs, and now since the RPGs and explosives have got a huge buff, I do think EOD is actually a very solid perk, very underused at the moment, and I don't even know why Double Time's up there, where it should really be EOD that's getting used the most in my opinion. Serpentine, obviously a really solid option because you're going to take less damage when you're sprinting. Now this only works when you're depleted fully, so once you're on the basic health, the basic 150 health, if you're running away or fully tack sprinting, then you're going to take 20% less damage, which is always very useful to keep you alive a little bit longer. And then the only other perk in my opinion that should be getting used here is Quick Fix. When you plate up, you immediately start your health regen. On top of that, your health regen is a little bit quicker just in general, so overall definitely very solid. So when you down a player, it will restart your health regen as well. So a lot of good things to keep you alive there as well. So as I said, EOD, Serpentine, and Quick Fix. Now, Cold-Blooded shouldn't really be getting used as much as I think it should. Not a lot of people are running snapshots anymore, and not a lot of people are really running Combat Scout anymore, but it's still a very solid perk in perk 3. So Cold-Blooded can still be used relatively well, but I don't really know why it is as popular as it is, where EOD probably should be one of the better options at the moment. Now, when it comes to the perk 2 slots, of course, Restocked is a very solid option at the moment. Now, it did get a bit of a nerf. Obviously, no longer does it restock stims really quickly or restock your snapshots really quickly, but it's still a solid option to use, just so you have those equipment available for you for certain gunfights where you might need it, especially when there's a lot of sweaty players around, people are holding hands. Stims and explosives will help you win those gunfights. So Restock solid. Temper is probably got to be one of the best perks added into this game. I thought it was a very amazing option when they added it in. So definitely Tempered should be high up there, which it obviously is. Overkill kind of just makes sense. Everyone wants a double weapon. Let's be honest, everyone wants their SMG, their AR. And that is just the way it really goes there with Overkill. And then High Alert's okay, it's kind of cool, but it's not really something I would choose. When it's on ground loot perks, definitely a solid option. And Ghost only works now if you're sprinting around the map, so a lot of camping players are not really going to be using Ghost anymore, and that's why the pick ratio is a lot lower. So you can see why Ghost doesn't really get picked anymore, which is kind of cool in my opinion. I'm not really too bothered about that. Now, when it comes to perk 3, it's very easy which perks are the best here. Amped and Combat Scout are by far and away the best too. Combat Scout allows you to see players through walls a little bit after you shoot them, Amped allows you to swap weapons quicker. Now, if you don't have those perks on your weapons, then obviously it's going to allow you to swap between your AR and SMG a lot faster. Again, I kind of gotten used to not using this, but a lot of people do just like having amped on there. So, I mean, definitely a solid perk as well. Battle Hardened is one of those perks where, again, I don't really think is all as powerful as it should be. And I don't really know why it's that popular either, because it's not that great. So if you are running Battle Hardened, maybe decide to change your perk slot, because it isn't too good unless you're using it as one of the ground loot perks. So we're going to do the same thing with the tactical and lethal equipment here. We've got the pick ratios for all of these. So you've got heartbeat sensor, stim, stun grenades. For the tactical, that's the top 3 obviously. Then when it comes to lethal, it's semtex, throwing knives, thermites, and frags are kind of up there as well. Now, when you're actually looking at the KDs here, you can see that the heartbeat sensor drops down significantly because I actually got nerfed like way back, and stims are definitely a really solid option. Snapshots are really popular right now, but stuns are also really powerful, and that's not really changed too much. Then we've got throwing knives, semtex, and thermites, which are the top 3 here for lethal equipment, which I do think is pretty much the best options at the moment. Unless you're camping a lot, then you can use a proximity or a claymore, but even then, I don't really think they're that good, to be honest. So when it comes to lethal equipment here, we've got semtex, which is a time sticky grenade, very simple, everyone knows what this does. But overall, if you stick someone, it's going to give you an instant down, and that's why it's really popular. Then we've got throwing knives, which are the best eliminating enemies. So if you are using an SMG with a small magazine capacity, something like a Type 100, then a throwing knife is going to be a really solid option, so you don't need to use all your magazine to kind of finish off a player. Plus, you can pick it up again and do it all over again, so definitely a solid option there. And thermites are just really good for blocking off areas, so if you're going to get flanked or something like that, and you know the player chasing you, you can throw down a thermite. It should block off that area for a couple of seconds. So I wish it would lasted a little bit longer, because that would actually make it a really powerful thing. It didn't really need to do more damage, it needs to last a little bit longer, so it gives you more time to escape gunfights. So I think that's a good buff that can make the thermites. Surprisingly, in the tactical option, I do think there's actually a lot of really good options here. Flashes are very good. At the initial stages of a flash, when you can't see, it's very hard to get any sort of movement going or see where you're going. So overall, flashes are very powerful as well. Stuns, as always, just slow you down. It doesn't allow you to do literally anything for a couple of seconds, so it's almost a free kill. We've got snapshot grenades, which allows you to see through walls. It's basically the new heartbeat sensor. So if you are running the heartbeat sensor, you like that kind of style of play, then snapshot grenades are actually a better option. So overall, they've been buffed and then a little bit nerfed, but overall, for the most part, they're definitely a solid option. And then for anyone who's very aggressive, likes to kind of outplay enemies, stims are going to be the best way forward to have that faster movement speed when you're stimmed. And then obviously it regens your health. Now, if you do take damage, it doesn't give you that health regen, but you still get the movement boost, so it's definitely a very solid option as well. So there we have it. Those are the best perks, tacticals, and lethals that are currently inside Warzone. And this is going to go for every single map, so whether it's Fortune's Keep, Rebirth, or Caldera, this should keep you right. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe as we try to reach our goal of 50k. Click that link and subscribe to our second channel, and thank you very much for watching.